Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're watching this, you've probably either been the empath who walked away, or you're trying to understand what happens when they do. Today, we're diving deep into a powerful truth. When an empath finally leaves a narcissist, it's not just a breakup, it's a seismic shift. And while the empath finds freedom, the narcissist, they're plunged into a silent internal chaos they never saw coming. Stick around. This isn't about revenge. It's about understanding the hidden aftermath of walking away with your soul intact. Let's be real, empaths don't leave lightly. We give second chances, third chances, even 10th chances, because we genuinely believe in people's capacity to change. But when we finally walk away, it's because we've hit a wall of truth. Love shouldn't cost your sanity. And that moment of departure, it's not dramatic. It's quiet, calm, final. And that silence? It echoes louder in the narcissist's mind than any scream ever could. You see, narcissists thrive on supply, the attention, validation, and emotional energy they drain from others. And empaths? We're like a 5-star buffet of empathy, patience, and devotion. When we're present, they feel powerful, adored, in control. But when we leave, that supply vanishes overnight. No more ego boosts, no more someone to blame. No more emotional crutch. And that void? It triggers a silent panic they can't even name. What's fascinating and heartbreaking is that the narcissist rarely understands why the empath left. They'll spin stories. They were too sensitive. They abandoned me. They changed. But deep down, in that quiet place they never visit, there's a flicker of dread. Because for the first time, the mirror they used to avoid is staring back. And they don't like what they see. But instead of healing, they double down on denial. The empath's absence creates a vacuum the narcissist tries to fill fast. New relationships, social media performances, grandiose claims, but it's never the same. New people don't give the same depth of care. They don't absorb the blame like we did. They don't soothe the shame like we tried to. And that's when the narcissist starts idealizing the empath they discarded, rewriting history to make us the perfect one they lost. Tragic irony, isn't it? Meanwhile, the empath, we're finally breathing. No more walking on eggshells. No more twisting ourselves into knots to keep the peace. Healing begins in that silence. Not the narcissist's silence, but ours. The silence of no more excuses, no more justifications, just peace. And that peace is louder than any chaos they ever created. That's the real victory. One thing people don't talk about enough. The narcissist's silent agony isn't about missing you, it's about missing what you did for them. Your empathy was their emotional infrastructure. Without it, their fragile self-image starts to crumble. But instead of facing that, they rage, blame, or play the victim. They'll even smear your name to anyone who listens. Because if they can't control your presence, they'll try to control your reputation. But here's the beautiful part. None of that touches you anymore. Because when the empath walks away with clarity, we take back our power. We stop being the emotional dumping ground. We stop believing we're responsible for their happiness. And that shift, it terrifies the narcissist, not because they love you, but because they've lost their puppet. And puppets don't walk off the stage on their own, unless they realize they were never strings, they were wings. You might wonder, do they ever regret it? Maybe. But regret without accountability is just guilt in disguise, and guilt doesn't change behavior. Real change requires humility, and narcissism thrives on superiority. So while they may feel a pang of loss, it's rarely deep enough to spark true transformation. And that's not your burden to fix. Your job isn't to wait for their awakening, it's to protect your peace. Walking away also rewires your nervous system. For so long you were in survival mode. Hypervigilant, anxious, scanning for danger. But distance brings safety, and safety brings healing. You start sleeping deeper, laughing easier, trusting your gut again. That's the gift of leaving, not just freedom from them, but freedom within yourself. And that's something they can never take back. The narcissist, on the other hand, often spirals into covert despair. They might seem fine on the surface, posting, performing, pretending, but internally, they're untethered. Without someone to reflect their false self back to them, they feel empty. law, and instead of turning inward, they look outward for the next source of supply. But the cycle gets harder to sustain because not everyone gives like an empath does. And let's be clear, this isn't about gloating. This is about truth. When you've been used, minimized, and emotionally looted, understanding the aftermath isn't petty, it's empowering. It helps you stay gone. Because if you ever doubt your decision, remember, their pain isn't your responsibility, their chaos isn't your home. And their silence? It's the sound of their illusion cracking. One of the most powerful realizations I had after walking away, I wasn't too much, I was too real. Narcissists can't handle authenticity because it exposes their performance. My empathy, my depth, my honesty, they weren't flaws, they were threats to their facade, and that's why they tried to shrink me. But you can't dim a true light forever. Eventually it burns through the smoke. The empath's departure often triggers the narcissist's deepest fear, abandonment. But here's the twist. They caused it themselves through their own behavior, yet they'll never admit that. Instead, they'll paint you as the villain who left without warning, but you did warn them with your tears, your boundaries, your silent pleas. They just chose not to listen. And that's on them, not you. Healing after walking away means grieving the relationship you thought you had. You mourn the potential, the love you poured in, the future you imagined. That grief is valid. But don't let it pull you back. The person you loved was a mirage. The real them couldn't hold space for your truth. And that's not a reflection of your worth. It's a revelation of theirs. Social media becomes a minefield after you leave. You'll see them posting cryptic quotes, moving on stories, or suddenly acting like the perfect partner with someone new. Don't fall for it. That's not healing, it's performance. Block, if you need to. Mute. Protect your energy. Your peace is more valuable than satisfying your curiosity about their next act. And here's something powerful. When the empath walks away, they often inspire others to do the same. Friends, family, even mutual acquaintances start seeing the pattern clearly. Your courage becomes a quiet beacon. You didn't just save yourself, you gave others permission to choose themselves too. That's the ripple effect of self-respect. The narcissist's silent agony peaks when they realize no one else reacts like you did. No one else cries when they're hurt. No one else stays up worrying about them. No one else forgives so freely. And that's when they might reach out, love-bombing, apologizing, promising change. But remember, it's not love, it's withdrawal. And you are not their rehab. True healing for the empath means never going back, not even in your mind. No what-ifs. No romanticizing the good days, which were often just calm moments between storms. You anchor yourself in the truth. A relationship that requires you to disappear isn't love, it's erasure, and you deserve to take up space fully, loudly, unapologetically. Over time, you stop wondering how they're doing. Not out of cruelty, but because your energy is finally yours again. You're building a life that doesn't revolve around their moods, their needs, their chaos. And that's when you realize walking away wasn't the end. It was your beginning, and their silent agony. It's just the echo of a door that finally closed. Hey, if you're watching this and you've recently walked away, give yourself grace. Some days you'll feel strong, other days you'll miss the illusion. That's normal. Healing isn't linear, but every day you stay gone is a vote for your future self. And that future self is already thanking you. The narcissist may try to hoover you back, sending messages, showing up accidentally, using mutual friends. But remember, their desperation isn't devotion, it's dependency, and you are not obligated to be their emotional oxygen. Your job now is to breathe for yourself. One of the greatest gifts of leaving is rediscovering your voice. During the relationship, you probably minimized your opinions, swallowed your anger, and edited your truth. Now, you get to speak freely, think boldly, and feel deeply, without fear. That's liberation, and it's worth every moment of doubt you had before walking away. The silent agony the narcissist feels isn't about losing you, it's about losing control. And that's the core of narcissism, control, not connection. So when you reclaim your autonomy, you shatter their illusion of power. And that's why your quiet exit is so devastating to them. You didn't fight, you just left. And that's the ultimate loss of control. You'll notice something beautiful after you leave. Your intuition gets louder. You start trusting your gut again. You spot red flags faster. You honor your boundaries without guilt. That's because you're no longer drowning in their distortion. Clarity is your new compass, and it will never lead you back to chaos. And to anyone still in the cycle, it's not your fault you stayed. Trauma bonds are real. Love bombing feels like destiny, but it's never too late to walk away. Your empathy is a gift, but it's not a leash. You can care deeply and still choose yourself. In fact, that's the bravest form of love. The narcissist world shrinks when you leave, because they lose their favorite audience. Without you to witness their drama, their victories feel hollow. Their pain goes unseen, and that invisibility? It's unbearable to someone who needs constant validation, but your absence isn't cruelty, it's consequence. Meanwhile, your world expands. You meet people who listen without waiting to speak, who celebrate your wins without envy, who apologize when they're wrong. That's not a fantasy. That's what healthy relationships look like. And you get to have that now, all because you had the courage to walk away. Don't be surprised if the narcissist tries to rewrite history. They'll tell others you were crazy, ungrateful, or unstable. But truth has a way of surfacing, and those who matter will see through the smoke. Your integrity is your armor. Wear it proudly. Healing also means forgiving yourself for staying too long, for ignoring red flags, for believing you could fix them. You did the best you could with the awareness you had. Now you know better, and that's enough. Self-forgiveness is the bridge from pain to peace. The empath's walk away isn't weakness, it's wisdom in motion. It's choosing self-preservation over self-sacrifice. And that choice sends a message the narcissist can't ignore. I am not your resource, I am a person, and I choose me. That's revolutionary. You'll find joy in the smallest things again. Quiet mornings, honest conversations, feeling safe in your own skin. These are the treasures narcissists can't comprehend because they've never truly felt them. And now, they're yours to keep. Remember, their silence after you leave isn't peace. It's panic disguised as indifference. But yours? Yours is the silence of a storm finally passing. And in that calm, you rebuild, stronger, wiser, freer. If you're tempted to check in on them, ask yourself, what do I hope to gain? Closure? Apology? Change? None of that comes from them. It comes from within you. So, redirect that energy inward. Journal, meditate, talk to a therapist. Your healing is your priority, not their reaction. The day you stop needing them to understand your pain is the day you're truly free. Their validation was never yours to earn. Your worth was always yours to claim. And you just did. Walking away also teaches you the difference between compassion and codependency. You can feel empathy for their brokenness without staying in their chaos. That's maturity. That's boundaries. That's self-love in action. Over time, you'll stop seeing yourself through their distorted lens. You'll remember your kindness isn't weakness, your depth isn't drama, and your love isn't a flaw. You were never the problem. The problem was the dynamic, and you ended it. The narcissist may move on quickly, but it's surface level. Real connection requires vulnerability, and they avoid that at all costs. So their new love is just another role in their play. But your next relationship, it'll be real, because you're no longer performing. Your walk-away isn't just an ending, it's a declaration. I refuse to be erased. And that declaration echoes in every choice you make from now on. You choose truth over comfort, peace over drama, self over sacrifice. And that's how you heal for good. If you're watching this and you're still doubting your decision, hear this. The fact that they're suffering in silence doesn't mean you did wrong. It means you broke the cycle. And that's not cruelty. It's courage. Honor your courage. You'll start dreaming again. Big dreams, quiet dreams, dreams that have nothing to do with them. That's your soul coming back online. Nurture those dreams. They're the blueprint of your rebirth. The empath's power isn't in staying. It's in knowing when to go. And once you go, you don't look back. Not because you're heartless, but because your heart finally belongs to you. Their silent agony is temporary. Your peace is permanent. Never trade the latter for the former. You've already paid enough. One day, you'll mention their name and feel nothing. No anger, no sadness, just neutrality. And that's when you'll know you're free, truly free. Until then, be gentle with yourself. Healing takes time, but every day without them is a victory. Celebrate it. You are not responsible for their loneliness. You are responsible for your wholeness, and you're building it one boundary, one breath, one brave choice at a time. The world needs empaths like you, not drained and depleted, but whole and radiant. By walking away, you didn't abandon your gift, you protected it. So keep going, keep healing, keep choosing yourself. The narcissist's silent agony is their journey. Yours is a return to light. And remember, your empathy is sacred. Guard it. Honor it. Never let anyone convince you it's a liability. It's your superpower. And now, it serves you first. Thanks so much for watching, friends. If this resonated, drop a comment below. I read every single one. And if you're on your healing journey, know this. You're not alone. You're seen. You're worthy. And your walk away, it's not the end. It's your renaissance. Stay strong. Stay kind to others, but especially to yourself. You've got this.